I guess I'll teach me a striking a deal with my son. Put up my Christmas lights and I'll cut your deer up. But a deal's a deal. And I'm the dumbass sitting here cutting it up. Okay, we're going to start with the back straps here. My young son David killed this deer, separating all the nasties from the goodies here. But first, we have to hydrate. Okay, back at it. A lot of ways to do this, folks. I'm going to get all this white grizzly stuff off I can so we can turn these into some deer steaks. That don't belong there. Matter of fact, that's trash. This is kind of what I'm after, this mess here. Now, I have been able to cut down the sides here before, kind of get that away from the meat and treat it like a fish. Let's see if I get lucky. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And voila, we got most of it. Okay, some people like to cut them this way, which is fine and dandy. Sometimes when I get the short piece like this, I may just notch that off and go like this. And you got two decent little steaks there. Might be a little thick. Later, these will be run through the tenderizing machine. These, I think I will make like this. Okay, let's go get us another chunk. Hind quarter number one here. I know a lot of people cut this up just strictly for grinding sausage meat, what have you. I try to separate the muscles in here. Several good cuts of meat in here that make some pretty nice steaks. Like I said, when they hit the tenderizer machine, it doesn't matter much anyway. So we'll try to clean some of this off here. Pretty important here not to spill your drink when you're rotating your deer meat there. So. This is one of the pieces right here that if we can get it out of there, makes some really good steaks. Separate these two. It's not a very big piece of meat, but it's free of all this blue looking stuff in there. It doesn't have much of that in there. So. Good God Almighty. I think I just missed. Dodged a bullet there, folks. Make sure we ain't bleeding. No, we're good. Now, the dreaded front shoulders. I'm sure everybody that's ever cut up a deer knows what I'm talking about. It sucks. All right. Not a whole lot here. Some people block them up, might make a shoulder roast out of them, put them in the oven. I've done it a couple times. Not a big fan. It has to be cooked exactly right or it's dry and tough. So we're just going to start hacking on this for sausage meat and hope for the best. This will all be taken out of the bag when it comes to time to grind, soaked in ice water, and get a little more of the blood and stuff out of it. So it's not really the end result. We got a couple more steps before we actually put it into a sausage or hamburger or whatever. So you just get all that old blood soaked out real good. That comes later, and it doesn't take long. These are the steaks we cut up the other day. We left them in a bag on ice. And we're going to put them in this colander and rinse the blood off of them. We'll get all the blood we can off of them, and then we're going to lay them on a towel, dry them out, and run them through the tenderizing machine. Nice, clean steaks. Beautiful. Okay, we'll let that drain for a second, and then we'll lay them on a towel and dry them off and run them through the machine. We're going to lay these out on this towel, scatter them out, and get all this moisture off that we can. The next step is going to be the Steak Maker 400, which is an antique. You'll see in a minute, but it works. And the next step is going to be the freezer. We're drying them off because if you try to put these things into a vacuum pack bag, it sucks the moisture out of the bag and it causes you problems when your bag seals. So we want them as dry as we can get them before we put them through the tenderizer and into the vacuum pack bag. Steak Maker Model 400, antique, if you will. These plates in the bottom keeps the meat separated. They fit in here and go between the knives to keep the meat from going round and round. It just falls out the bottom. So with that being said, let's go ahead and run a few through here. And I like to go one way first and then turn it and go the other way to the other side. It looks like this on one pass, and I turn it sideways and go through. And it is just like a beef cutlet. Drop it in there and drop it in there. And probably one way is good enough, but I like to go both ways, especially on the little thick ones like this one. And when you batter them and fry them up, they are delicious, tender. You can cut them with a fork. Let me get 6, 7 of them done here, and we'll show you the next process. Okay, here we go. I like to lay them on these papers. You can get these anywhere at Walmart, local meat market, whatever. I like, since it's 2 of us, you can put as many as you want. I like to put 6 steaks in here. There, set these on top like this, because me and Ray will eat 2 and probably have 2 for leftovers. But it's a nice meal for a couple of people. 6 steaks. I'll slip them into this bag, which is always a challenge, and vacuum pack. Voila! Perfectly packaged, lasts a long time in the freezer, And believe me, when you tenderize them like this, they are very delicious. If y'all can see the blood trails that this leaves, that's why we try to dry the meat off as much as we can. And we may need to dry it a little more because it's sucking the blood up towards the ceiling, but we got it. The ceiling area is good, but this is what we're trying to prevent by drying the meat off. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Very important, if you've got one of these machines, get the tenderizing parts out of the machine as soon as possible so the meat doesn't dry in between these little deals, because if you leave it, you're going to be picking it out with a toothpick and it's going to be a mess. So we're just going to come out of here with these and set them in some soapy water and let them soak. Everything stays soft and they'll rinse off nice and easy, and then it's back in the pantry for next time.